Hello. I've been doing some videos to show that dispensationalism, or should I say Christian Zionism, is not biblical. And what do I have to come across? Unbelievable. Why do I have to look at this stuff? Headline: The high priest of Israel is now ready. Daniel's prophecy has begun. Hope you watched my last video, people. This has 302,000 views. One hundred and 1,198 comments. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame for those so-called Christians. Yes, the headline, I guess, is a catcher. Somebody was complaining to me because I was using, clickbait or something? Do people even read the Bible? There is not one, well, I shouldn't say not one. He was actually using Daniel 9. Again, please watch my last video if you need proof that this covenant, this peace treaty has to be fulfilled. Or, hey, that a third temple has to be built. There's not one thing in Daniel 9 that tells us a third temple will be built. Not one. Please go back to my last video if you're new to this topic. Daniel is not telling you at all that there's going to be a third temple. Nothing about the third temple, especially not in Daniel 9. And he's saying, these people are preparing. The high priest is here, and they're going to reestablish this old covenant. They had no idea. Do they know how to read Daniel? Especially Daniel 9, where he shows very clearly that the old covenant is over. And the reason why he wrote chapter 9 is because he was lamenting and crying over the fact that the old covenant was dead. He was not only lamenting over the Old Testament being dead, but he was afraid that Messiah has no chance to come. That's what he was worried about. And he was telling us that, no, there is time. There is time still for the Messiah to come. That God will fulfill his promise to Abraham. That's what he told Daniel. He didn't tell Daniel that, the Old Testament, the Old Covenant will be revived. Not once. He's saying there's going to be a new covenant. Why is he talking about a new covenant? Because Jeremiah, is it 31 I think 31? 31 is talking about the new covenant. That's why. That's where Daniel had this information from. He tells you right at the beginning of the chapter, people don't read. And the Jews don't read it anyways. They believe there's a curse on Daniel. I don't know, this channel is called Wisdom. I don't know where he gets his wisdom from. I think Solomon. I think he's got his wisdom from Solomon. Solomon got his wisdom from demons. This guy has definitely his wisdom from demons as well. Unbelievable. The high priest of Israel is ready. Who gives whatever? Can he even prove that he is a descendant of the Levites. Has this person even read Hebrews? That really the high priest, according to the Levites, is over. It's the old covenant. We are now under the new covenant, which is under Messiah, which is the high priest according to the order of Melchizedek. This person doesn't know. Is he calling himself a Christian? Or is he a messed up Jew? Well, no, he's both. Messed up so-called Christian and in absolute maybe messed up Jew. I have no idea. But he is an absolute liar. Absolute liar. And people are, commenting. I don't see one a comment saying, hello. Well, actually, I do have somebody right here commenting. Hebrew 9:12 says, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his, Jesus' own blood, he entered once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. And guess what? He has 177 thumbs up. Yes, people. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for that comment. I am so surprised. I mean, one quote after another. It says, Jesus, my Savior, my love, have mercy on us. Yes, yes, absolutely. Somebody's actually saying, I'm a descendant of Aaron too through genetic study. I'm a Cohen, but my Messiah has already come. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I'm not so sure if he can prove and if he even needs to prove it, that he is a descendant of Aaron. Who cares? If he is a Cohen, a descendant of Aaron, it's gone. You know what the high priest did when Jesus stood in front of him? He tore his garments. That was a sign that the priestly line was over. It was the end of the high priesthood, of the priestly whatever. Okay? You can read that in some of the Gospels. Yes, read Hebrews. The Levites were only an interim priesthood until the true high priest would come. Also read Zechariah 6. Zechariah 6, people, tells you who is going to rebuild or who is going to build the true temple of God and why he will build the true temple of God. Let's go there, people. Zechariah 6, and we're going to start with 12. Tell him this is what the Lord Almighty says. Here is the man whose name is Branch, and he will branch out from his place and build the temple of the Lord. It is he who will build the temple of the Lord. Now, I hope people know who the branch is. I hope so. Should be not too hard to figure out. And he will be clothed with majesty and will sit and rule on his throne. Now, that is all important. Because he will be the high priest. He will build the temple. He is the high priest. And he will also rule. He will be a priest on his throne, and there will be harmony between the two. Now, when can that happen? Can that happen when a Levite is on the throne? When a Levite is a priest and a king? Can that happen? No. In the Old Testament, the Levites were the priestly line. David had the kingly line. Judah. So how can a priest be a king as well? Very simple. When you go to Hebrews, you will know. Because Jesus is the king according to Judah, David's line. But he also is high priest according to the order of Melchizedek. Why? Because the Levitical line was put aside. It was an interim priesthood until Messiah would come. And Daniel himself prophesied that Messiah would come. The covenant that the anointed one would make, remember, it's the anointed one who made the covenant. Look it up. I said it in my last video. He is the one. So Jesus is the only one qualified to make this covenant with them. The new covenant, not under a Levitical priesthood. Who really cares? Only the misguided, blind sheep. They're the only ones who follow these kinds of false teachers. They don't know the Bible. They don't know the New Testament. Where are they coming from? They are neither Jews nor really Christians. They neither know the Old Testament, which shows clearly that the Old Covenant is over. Absolutely. Nothing in Daniel is saying that the Old Covenant is still in existence and it needs to be reestablished. In the opposite, if they would reestablish it, it would be nothing but idol worship. No Antichrist needs to sit in an idol worship temple. It is already an abomination. Already an abomination. Whoever made this video, yeah, I would like to know where he has his wisdom from. Really, I'd like to know where he has his wisdom from. Satan? People, we need to wake up, and people, we need to wake up other people. This is out there. And this is the stuff that misleads those poor sheep. Those poor sheep that have their eyes closed and all they can do is go baa and look for the next green little grass. Or he is next little herb. And I know we are sent out there to reach these people. Everyone that is listening to my videos. You need to reach out and reach these lost people. What you can do is you can give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm saying. You can give me a comment underneath, because that is the way I can get my videos out there. At least you can do that much. If you are not going out there yourself and reaching people, that's the least you can do. Support my videos, that they will go out there and reach at least some people. If I look at that video, people, I don't know what's going on with, should I say the Christian of the United States or English-speaking Christians. Really. I want to know what's going on with them. The so-called They are absolutely, I cannot imagine a really thinking and a reading their Bible. Who is still reading their Bible? Who is still being able to understand that this is all hogwash, nonsense, false teachings, lies, absolute lies. People, I hope if you have not watched my last video about Josephus, you need to watch it. Because to understand history is to understand the Bible. If we don't understand history, these people can tell us just any garbage. Because people are, I'm sorry, they're too lazy to go to the Bible and really check it out. These people can just tell anything. Who has read Hebrews? Please give me a thumbs up if you have read Hebrews. Please leave a comment if you know about Hebrews. If you know about Melchizedek and Jesus being according to the order of Melchizedek, you know what that means? There was a priestly line before the Levites were put in there. And that priestly line was according to the order of Melchizedek. Do some research. I've done some videos about that as well. You know, go thumb through my videos and find one about Melchizedek. Go read Hebrews. Melchizedek, or Jesus, is the only one who can fulfill this prophecy by Zechariah. Because he is from the kingly line and he is from a priestly line. He is from the order of Melchizedek. And I know this may be overwhelming, but the Levitical priesthood is gone. The high priest tore his garment when Jesus stood in front of him. He rejected Messiah as coming in the flesh. He rejected Messiah as the Son of God. They killed him because he claimed that he was the Son of God. They killed him because he was the I Am. And there is no more going back. There's only a going forward. If you watch my last video about Flavius Josephus and what happened to the Jews because they rejected Messiah, the destruction of the temple and Jerusalem, you need to read Josephus. You need to watch my last video. People, you need to wake up, and you need to help me wake up other people. I know it is hard. I know it's hard. People want to be ignorant. People want to have their eyes closed. No doubt in my mind, they want to do that. But we need to make an effort to wake them up. And therefore, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you have ever read Hebrews. I hope you did. One of the most important, he has very, very important letters. It should be read by not only every Christian, but every Jew. Because it was specifically, I believe, written to the Jews. Also read Zechariah. Read Zechariah again. Here is a man whose name is Branch. That's Messiah. He will branch out from his place and build the temple of the Lord. How is he building the temple of the Lord? Ephesians 2. Ephesians 2, read it. If you don't know it, you don't know the letters of Paul. You don't know who the real temple of the Lord is. You need to read Ephesians 2. The true temple of the Lord is his body, is the church, is the bride of Christ. That's the true temple of God, made out of living stones. It is he who will build the temple of the Lord, and he will be clothed with majesty and will sit and rule on his throne, and he will be a priest on his throne, and there will be harmony between the two. Read it again. I hope you understand Ephesians 2 and what Paul told us about a third temple, or the true temple of God. There is not one place in the Bible that prophesies a third temple. Not one. Not one, people. Not a stone temple. Again, my last video, God destroyed the temple in 70 AD. Jesus prophesied it. And he did it on purpose because he was saying that the old covenant is gone. It's up, over, and done with. And they only have one chance. That's what Daniel 9 says. And that is the new covenant that Jesus, the anointed one, made with them, specifically with them for 1 week. 1 week is 7 years. Specifically with the Jews, Jesus made it for 3.5 years. He only preached to the lost sheep of Israel for 3.5 years. And the next 3.5 years, only the disciples preached the good news to the lost sheep of Israel. That was the 7 years of a covenant that the Messiah made specifically with them. After that, they rejected him, and that's why the city and the temple was destroyed. The old was gone. They rejected it. You cannot go back anymore. A husband who divorces his wife cannot remarry her again. It would be an abomination to the land, according to Moses, the law of Moses. And God divorced Israel. Of course, that's including Judah, that's including the Levites. They cannot go back anymore. The only thing they can do now is come under the new covenant. If they're not coming under the new covenant, it's over. Everything else is an abomination. And they keep committing abomination. And you know what that means. Oh my goodness. That means angering the Lord more and more. That's what it means. And not only are the Jews angering him, but all these Christians, so-called Christians, that are saying that they are, Christians, and supporting all this nonsense with the third temple and all this blah, blah, blah stuff. They are angering him as well. And what is coming upon them? The wrath of God. Please again, if you have not read Josephus, Flavius Josephus, this is exactly what happened to the Jews because they rejected Messiah. They did not want to give up their old covenant. That's why. And will it get better? No, it will not get better. I'm coming to an end, people. Let the Holy Spirit guide you always.